Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dust on Gaming, doing a little bit of a short stream tonight. One deck someone had asked me to get back to playing a little bit was 4-Color Geist. This is a deck that I kind of enjoyed in Modern. The only change from the list we originally played was I'm putting a 4th Faithless Looting in the deck over the place of the one copy of Crackling Doom. We'll see how that goes. The 5th Crackling Doom kind of functioned as a 5th Path to Exile against bigger creatures, also gave us a little bit more reach. Could be relevant against decks like Bogles. Beyond that, this is a 4-color pseudo-control aggro deck around Geist of St. Traft, Tassiger, Snapcaster Mage, and a bunch of good spells along with that. You got Bolt and Path in Lightning Helix as early creature interaction. You got Collective Brutality to kind of answer spells a little bit. Counter Skull, you know, is about the only counter spell in your main deck, but is a pretty good negate with a little bit of a kicker upside. Lingering Soul is obviously pretty good in grindy matchups. Kolaghan's Command, same thing, also has some utility against artifacts. So this is a 4-color good stuff deck, based around everything held together by Faithless Looting, and then the sideboard, a lot of various utility things. Stony Silence against artifact decks, Leon, the Last Hope in grindy matchups, also pretty good against the small creature decks. Leyline of the Void, good against all the various graveyard decks like Dredge, Hollow One, Bridgevine, Goblin Rabble Master when you need to increase your clock. Fulminator Mage against the big man decks can also come in against control. And Engineered Explosives when you need a pseudo sweeper. So it's pretty much the list. We've played this like once before. I'm going to go ahead and hop into a 2-man queue or 2 tonight. Going to be a relatively short stream. I've been working on a lot of homework, answering a lot of various other things been going on, and also wanted to do a replay of a burn thing. So just feel like I haven't been giving Modern enough attention with all the standard stuff, and I know a lot of you are subscribed to the channel to see the Modern stuff. So here we go. Hopefully we can get through like 2 quick matches in a half hour or so, but if not, I'm going to try to do my best to play this match as good as possible, and hopefully we'll win, and hopefully our opponent will show up. This is one of the decks that I'd like to consider for long-term. Burn's obviously a pretty good deck. Just Guy Miracles is another deck that I own. Other decks that I'm kind of considering owning long-term are Amulet Titan in this deck. So I definitely want to give this deck and Amulet Titan another couple of looks. Hopefully our opponent will actually, show up. So, but they were waiting in queue, so it might be a couple minutes. So beyond that, looking at the list, obviously this is a 4-color deck. It's a little bit weak to things like Blood Moon, land destruction in the form of Field of Ruin and such. So the deck certainly has some weaknesses. It has like great utility spells. Also, it has a surprising amount of reach between Bolt, Helix, Kolaghan's Command, Brutality, and even Counter Squall. So the deck can often burn people out from like 8 to 10 life. So your Snapcasters, your Geists, and your Tassigers only have to do a certain amount of damage, or even your Lingering Souls tokens. So for a deck that's mostly spell-based, it has a surprising amount of creature bodies and a surprising amount of reach in the form of burn. Obviously Helix and Bolt can go to the face. Path, I mean, there's some matchups where Path's a dead card, but most everybody has something in their deck you want to kill. Be it cards like Celestial Colony, the Gideon of the Trials that's been transformed. Any number of cards really that Path to Exile can be useful against. But it is probably the least flexible and most potentially dead card in your main deck. Counter Squall, there are some matchups where Counter Squall can be kind of but Counter Squall at least, generally speaking, just about every deck has some type of non-creature spell. I can't think of any deck in Modern that has no spells in it. Even like decks like Elves, decks like trying to think, Goblins are probably like the 2 decks with like among the least spells in them. Even they have got like Goblin Grenade, Lightning Bolt, You know, decks like Tron obviously have some reasonable spells to hit. So Counter Skull is one of the more dead cards, but even that with Faithless Looting, you can often just cycle it away. Trying to think beyond that if there's anything else going on with this list. This list in some ways reminds me of the Esper Groyo's Vengeance list that ran like Jace, Vern's Prodigy, and Obsidat. And it looks like instead like it's flipping into a fourth color for a little bit more reach and a little bit more utility. And our opponent still doesn't look like they want to show up. So our opponent's got another roughly 8 to 10 minutes to show, or no, like 5 minutes to show up, and then we'll be awkwardly rewarded with a win. As surely as I queue for like another match, then they'll show up. This is one of the parts that suck about streaming live, is you really don't have a say over if your opponent's going to show up or not. So, anybody have any questions about the deck that's in chat now, or in the comments later, feel free to ask. I've only played like 5 matches with the deck, so it's not a deck that I have a huge amount of experience with. I did enjoy playing it last time, and one of the bigger complications is knowing what you're doing with your fetch lands, getting all your colors online. You don't have too many. The only double black spells or double any color spells are on the sideboard. So generally, if you get one of each color, you're usually pretty good. You want to be able to cast your Lightning Helixes and your Lightning Helix is the biggest consideration, and Kolaghan's Command. So. See if our opponent ever shows up. They are down to 5 minutes to go. Alright, well, for the sake of things and stuff, I'm going to jump into a open play here, and if my opponent happens to show up, then I really haven't seen too much sideboard. I've seen Creeping Shell pop up, and I've seen Night of Autumn, and obviously Assassin's Trophy exists, but I haven't really. We'll keep this. See if our other opponent shows up. I gotta keep track of that match too, which kind of sucks. So I want to fetch like all of my colors here, so I have access to a basic plane, so I don't necessarily have to. Alright, our opponent's going to play a forest and pass. It really tells us nothing. Alright, so I want access to a red source. I guess I get Blood Crypt. I can fetch basic island and have basic plains here. So yeah, I've only seen it in like 1 or 2 decks, but it's certainly been a card that's shown up. I have no idea what our opponent is playing here. And the other opponent hasn't bothered showing up, so. Ghost Quarter. That's kind of awkward. Scavenging Ooze. Not sure what that would indicate. I guess we'll just go ahead and shock this in. Play Geist. Pass. Are you gonna play it on Arena, or are you gonna play it on Magic Online? Hopefully we draw a removal spell here for this Geist. Um... Kulagon's command, huh? So I think we go to attacks, see if we can bait our opponent into cracking their fetch land before they, whatever here. Otherwise, we could even get back the Geist. I'm fine if they move to blocks. If they want to trade, that's cool. Alright, so you discard a card, you die. Awkwardness for our opponent. Honestly, it's my favorite deck to play, just in terms of playing. I don't know that it's the best deck. I think it's probably, like a couple people stated, it's probably weak a little bit against control decks. I do think it has tools that can win the control games. Alright, so opponent gets rid of a Tech Edge. So I wonder... Huh. Still haven't seen... Alright, so some type of Abzan list? It's a deck I consider playing tonight, but I don't have time to get into like a league or anything, so... Tireless Tracker, sure. You have a fetch land or something here? Nope, just a basic land. Alright, that was Moto's nice way of telling me our other opponent never showed up. So... Alright, so we get to... Bolt was in the other matchup, huh? It's unfortunate. Bolt would be great in that game. Alright, so I think I'm willing to trade Geist here for another 4 points of damage. That and getting this Tireless Tracker off the board. Definitely want to make sure I get a black source here. Get our basic swamp. Just to avoid taking too terribly much damage. Have you had a chance to play it yet, Cyborg? Yeah, let's get the basic swamp here. Flashback Souls, so our opponent can't chomp on it. I don't know how a green-white deck's coming back from this mess, but would be helpful if we drew more spells. I played a little bit of mono blue bulk, as Jan likes to call it, today on Arena. I had to buy the packs to get it together. Deck felt interesting. It's definitely the most powerful of the cheap deck options. Would like to draw a spell here, deck. I guess Faithless Looting sorta counts. Yeah, I need to look... I didn't like the first Mentor build that I played. Do you have a particular Mentor build you'd recommend? Because the first Boros aggro deck I played, I was not a huge fan of the Mentor plan. I played, like, the very first deck I played was, are they actually going to path one of my Dromoka's command fight? Sure. Is that what you're going to be playing tonight? Gotcha. So we're going to path my Tasigur. Guess I'll grab basic island here. Or if opponent's considering ghost quartering us here. Yeah, I didn't realize Deafening Clarion had the both option on it until I played that Angels deck. Who in God's green earth thought that was a great idea? Here, let me play all my Angels and blow up your board, and then yeah. Yeah, but usually some type of aggressive or mid-range deck wins the first week, so it's really kind of hard to tell from that. The control decks are usually a little bit behind. The fact that the control decks are this far developed already probably doesn't bode well for the current build of the deck. It'll probably end up having to be either the Angel build. I think Angels is going to end up being sort of the black-red deck of the format, in terms of, like, transformational decks. Kind of like, yeah. Like, the transformational things out of that deck, and then, I think in some regards it's going to be like that, or like the Mardu Vehicles deck was. It's kind of probably going to be the most flexible deck in the format. I don't know if it's going to be the best deck in the format, but it's certainly going to have the tools to beat all matchups. And especially once it gets, like, and once it even gets, like, the Blood Crypts and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some type of... What cards do I want in this matchup? I don't think we want anything, really. I don't even think Liliana is all that good in this matchup. Maybe the Lilianas over the Counter Squalls. Yeah, I have a feeling once you get the either the Stomping Grounds or the Blood Crypts, you might actually see some form of either Naya Angels with, like, Branch Walker and whatchamacallit, like you did toward the end of last season, or you might see some, like, Mardu builds with, like, a small splash for, like, things like Duress and stuff against the control decks, or you might even see a blue splash for, like, some light counter spells, like Spell Pierce and such against... Okay, Experimental Frenzy. What the heck? Interesting. So our opponent's a Bant deck of some kind. Interesting. We didn't see any, we didn't see any red out, or any blue out of them last game. I don't know if I'd go Experimental Frenzy in those Boros decks. That seems a little much, especially with all the expensive angels and such. Probably want to grab a white source here. Godless Shrine. Let's just go 2 modes. -2, -2. Duress. And pitch. What are we pitching here? Well, lands. Opponent has Knight of the Reliquary. Oh, okay. Our opponent is some kind of... Opponent is one of the Value Town type decks? What? Experimental Frenzy with Treasure Map? No, I haven't seen that one. I've seen Experimental Frenzy in some of the red decks. So I gotta be careful not to go beyond... I think the meta is going to end up being a lot more than those decks, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from here. Oh, our opponent doesn't have white mana. Awkward. I was wondering why they didn't play Knight last turn and they played the Zusa instead. They're gonna have to Ghost Quarter themselves here. Feels like this is a Ghost Quarter myself kind of thing. Ramana Excavator, sure. What's up, War Dog? How you doing? So our opponent's last card in hand is Knight of the Reliquary. How'd the casino go tonight? Really don't want to path this idiot because this will give him access to Knight next turn. Attacking the Bana base nonsense gets really annoying. You can't tech edge me, bro. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So we know our opponent has Knight of the Reliquary here. Some type of... Sure. Snapcaster Mage. Now... Tech Edge is specifically non-basic land, right? Another Geist of Same Draft here. Opponent surprisingly doesn't use Tech Edge here. Guess they're hoping to double Tech Edge us here. Now you're just dead on board. Well, to be fair, he couldn't Tech Edge us that whole time because he couldn't actually Tech Edge us because we only had 3 lands in play. Tech Edge requires there to be 4 lands. So, Tech Edge has its limitations. That's why they kept. That's why they kept recycling. That's why they kept recycling Ghost Quarter instead of Tech Edge, is because they couldn't recycle or use Tech Edge at any point in that mess until I played that Marsh Flats and cracked it. And even then I have the priority, so they can't really tag it. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if he was hoping to draw like a second one, or I don't know what he was hoping for there. At that point, the Geist deck being a burn deck kind of So it's pretty much that being that. Unfortunately, I really don't have time to get into another Geist match. Wanted to play a little bit more, but our first opponent didn't show up after like 5 minutes. I got into the second match. These Geist matches tend to take a little bit longer than Burn, so glad you had a good night at the casino there, War Dog. What would you pick up at your LGS? Sideboard, if you're still in chat, I hope your thing goes well tonight. Yeah, this deck seems fine. I mean, it's really kind of hard to get a good gauge on how good it is right now, but it's a pretty good deck. Hey, no problem. Wasn't sure if you were still in chat or not. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Sideboard, I blame you for making me buy the mono blue bulk on Arena, just because it's the most affordable and easy deck to get into on there. So, blame Sideboard for that. Between him and Jankovic always talking about it. Green white stuff for standard. Yeah, I played like 5 matches with it. I beat the 2 mono green decks. I lost because I didn't keep a great hand against what was the deck? I lost to Is It because they resolved and kept in play Niv Mizzet, and then there was a couple other I lost to Black White Life Gain because I didn't have enough early pressure, and I'm trying to remember what the other matchup was. I went 2 and 3 in the first the 1 game tournament onlys, the quick constructed thing, but slowly we're picking up the cards. So I think my next thing is going to be the Is It Niv Mizzet deck. Yeah, I figured it would. That was like my analysis of it. And also it also loses a lot of the draws where you don't find a Curious Obsession, I've noticed. Like, you don't have, your pressure isn't steady enough without the Curious Obsession, and I don't know if you can actually mulligan aggressively enough towards just Curious Obsession. Do you have any other tips for the deck? Like, I've only played it a small little bit, and haven't really honestly had time to go back and watch like all of yours and Hoogland's videos, and I guess Cesaris played it some last standard season. Any other tips on the deck? Like as far as like what hands to keep, what hands to pitch? I know you generally want to keep hands with threats, and Curious Obsession's like the bonus, but I don't think you can really mulligan towards that, can you? Anyways, continuing the wrap up on the deck, definitely need. I like the gameplay. I don't like the how you have to get cards and the fact that it's standard only. I like Magic Online because you can get cash out of it. Arena you can't, but I think Arena's gameplay is a little bit more fun. Just play it slow, miscloak, dive down. Yeah. Yeah, but you can only get that hand so many times. Yeah, this deck's pretty sweet, Valentine. Unfortunately, you're coming in at like the tail end, and I only really had time for a really short stream tonight. We managed to beat a Bant Value Town deck, so that was kind of interesting. It was nice to see that this deck can survive attacks to its mana base a little bit, not named Blood Moon. So, I mean, whoever built this mana base for this deck certainly put a lot of time and effort into it. And I'm very appreciative of their design, or the collaboration of things on this list. I like the reach that the deck has. I like the fact that you have some controlling elements, but you can close out games. And it's certainly a deck I'd like to pick up in the future in paper. But I mean, obviously, it's quite on the pricey side, given Snapcasters, Geists, Tassigers, and the mana base. The Marsh Flats are not cheap. Beyond that, I mean, the deck's pretty sweet. But got mine with Sleep Main, but this is one. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should. How many sleep do you run in the main? All right. I will see you later, sideboard. I hope your stream goes well. I'll definitely be tuning in if you start before I head to bed, but I won't be on long because I gotta be up at good old 3 a.m. for work. Okay, I'll have to look into running that in the main for the one of constructed. But just wrapping things up tonight. What's up, Aaron? just coming in as I'm heading out, man. Just did a quick one of match with just guy or 4-color Geist here. Definitely gonna play more of it in the future. He streams at Sideboard MTG. He has a very good standard channel, War Dog. You'd probably enjoy him. So he's probably the most thorough. Yeah, we can always go back and watch the little bit we did stream, Aaron. Thanks for tuning in, though. You missed me beating Bant Value Town. That was about it, and then I'm about to log off here. So yes, on YouTube, War Dog. It's literally Sideboard MTG. Yeah, it's alright, Space Marine. You can always go back and watch the replay. It's only like 20 minutes worth of an actual match because my first match didn't show up. So we did get 10 free 10 free play points from our opponent not showing up. So the value. But I'm definitely wrapping it up here tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Marine, get it? Replay is boring. I like the chat. Aaron, if he's not still on stream, he's probably getting ready to stream soon. I don't see anything up, but he usually streams around 10 p.m. Somewhere between 9:30 or 10 p.m. if he's not still in chat. So, he usually streams like 9:30, 10, and then into like 12, 12:30, 1 in the morning. So he has a lot of great stuff over on his channel. But keep in mind, he's pretty much only standard and okay, you're still in chat. I wasn't sure, Sideboard, if you're still hanging out or not. Yeah, he's 9:30 Central. So okay, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But he's a pretty cool dude. He's pretty centered on standard. Does a little bit of limited over there, but he definitely goes a lot more in-depth in standard than I do in the channel. I'm more modern with playing standard when standard's a thing. Sideboard's pretty much 24/7, 365 standard, and some other casual stuff, so. Yep. Well, you got people in here asking when your chat starts and stuff, so. War Dog, he's going to be doing Angels tonight, Boros Angels. So, for those of you that want to watch some Boros Angels tonight, make sure you guys tune into Sideboard's stream in about an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, he's pretty entertaining. He's a pretty cool dude, though he does look a little bit like the Disney villain in the top hat and with a handlebar mustache, but I can't block flying. Oh man. Alright, everybody, I gotta get rolling here. I gotta grab a shower and do a little bit more studying here before I get to bed. So, glad to catch everybody tonight. We had quite a bit of stuff go up today. We had some Esper Control go up this morning. We had some Just Got Control last night. We had a couple of Sideboard. I'm sorry, Eric. You do look like the the villain with like the old classic villain with like the mustache and the top hat, my man. I'm envious. I wish I was that good looking, but you do look like that villain, man. All of a sudden, you can imagine you going, Alright, anyways, before I get myself in any more trouble with sideboard, talking a Brit, I'm not really good with British accents. Alright, y'all have a great night. I hope everybody has a good evening, and I will catch you guys all tomorrow for a little bit. So, this has been Dusk for Dust to Dawn Gaming.